Hi, background location tracking is finally available inside of Despia. That means that you can track your user's location and send it to your server or process any logic in the background while the app is even closed and have a great experience if you're building an app like Uber, if you're building an app like DoorDash, right? All that kind of stuff, you got now access to that functionality if you want to make your mobile app inside of Toddle or any other web framework. So let me show you how that works. So there is a new setting inside of Despia that is important to note. As you can see, we have this background location tracking, and this actually uses the native device permissions to track the location of the device. So only turn on the setting if you're actually using this functionality. Otherwise, if you get access to the sensitive information of the user without needing it, app review, specifically Apple, may raise some concerns in regards of your app, why you're accessing that data if there's no utility for that, right? But that's just something to note. I'm having it on because I actually need it for this example today. So now that I have it on, I'm just going to go on Build iOS App Package and Preview. And now it's going to load a little bit. And once it's loaded, we're going to look at that together inside of Xcode. So now we exported the code, so we'll move this file, open it inside of here, and we're going to now open the folder that's our Despia app. We're going to open the XC workspace file, the app.xcode workspace file. This is going to open the Despia application. We want to go trust and open inside of Xcode. Again, right now, while we are improving and adding all those functionalities or have already added all those functionalities for Despia version 2, which is even more powerful and has access to those amazing stuff that we're going to do today, right? There is a little downtime for the automated publishing, right? We would now normally go on automate publishing and one-click publish, and it's on the App Store. Now, in this example today, just because we don't have that already, and we're still working on making it work with the version 2, we're going to look at that in Xcode real quick. So now we got the Xcode project here with thousands of files inside of it, and that we don't need to touch anything else in Xcode. We just need to click this play button, and this will open the app in a simulator for us, right? And in the meantime, again, we just have a basic application in Toddle, and I have no idea why I just had confetti inside of here. Let's read out the page. That's fun. There you go. So, let's go back here and let's look at Xcode again. And we should now have this in a simulator rendering. Here you go. Those simulators sometimes can take a little bit. And you see we have a blank application, but you do see that this application now has a background location access, also another one. But this has active location access just by enabling this setting. So if I actually remove this app from my simulator, you're going to see the native dialog as well, because I already had that installed. So if I were to delete this from my simulator here, go back to Xcode, click on play again, this is going to do a new build. And once I have a new build, you're going to see that it says allow location tracker to use your location. And then this is, using the native dialog. There is no logic in the web application added yet to retrieve that location, but the native application, the native Despia framework, is automatically setting you up with that precise location access here. So let's go and allow while using the app. And we want to allow all those things. You see, would like to send you notifications. We'll allow that. And now we have that application running, and we have, as you can see here, access to the location information. So if I close the app, for example, open it again, we see that we automatically have that native badge. We're informing the user we're using their location, and they can see that in their privacy panel. So now what we want to do is we want to go to Toddle, and we want to implement logic to get the user's location. So what we want to do is we probably want to create a variable where we can log the information in. So the location information, I can go location here, location. And I would look at the initial value here, and the initial value would just be empty. I got my location, and then unload of the application, or on success of your auth.me API call, I would then run the Despia get, geolocation, track geolocation. And usually it suggested add a little sleep to it, like 300 milliseconds, just to make sure everything is on the page loaded. We're just going to simulate that. Of course, you want to do this after your auth.me call was successful, so you can link the location to the user information. You don't want to start receiving the user information before you have that user ID, if that makes sense, right? But pretend this is going to be an API call, and then on success of that API, we're tracking their location. And then on location success, I already had something prepared here. I don't know why it inherited that over. That's weird. But then you're going to go on Despia track location. This is going to register the location changes in your application, right? And then on location here, I can log the location. So I can set it in the variable with the data I'm getting back, setting that data here, and then I got the coordinates, and then I can log and send that coordinates to my backend as well. So I could go now or process anything, right? This is where I get that information, and it will execute in the background. So what I have inside of here is I have a very simple database table just with a few records storing timestamps, or we can put the whole location object in there. I don't mind. So we can go to APIs here, and I can just look for my geo group that I already set up, and I'm going to go on log, and I can copy my API group real quick here. It's going to not be the best solution, but that's pretty much it. And I can just create an API inside of Toddle here. I'll put the API inside of here. I'll make it a post. I'm going to call this log, just like that. And then I will just add my parameter here. I have time, but we can just send the whole payload as an example to look at it, right? I would then send the whole payload for illustration purposes. And then you'll see I have that information inside of here. On location change, I can just simply then do the API call, right? And that's how I get that information sent. And then to see that it actually tracked the information or the location, let's add confetti so we can see visually that that is doing it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug my iPhone here. We can first look at it in the simulator if you want, but then I'm going to connect it with my iPhone to show you accurately how that works. So let's open this location tracker application here real quick. Probably want to make sure that we do the rebuild process in Xcode appropriately. Let's go real quick to Xcode. Let's just rebuild it. Yeah, that will open the application here. Look at that. And you can see we got that initial one because, in the simulator, the location is not changing, right? That's why we want to look at that on a real device. But if we already look inside of here, now at our database containing the logs, I have a lot. You're going to see that we did send that information inside of here. It probably didn't because it's in the simulator. Interesting. But we already get data inside of here happening in the background. And now what we want to do, or actually it didn't. Interesting. No, that's from the, it's from 12. No, that's from the past. So let's clear that out. There was probably something going on in the background here. That's interesting. Let's take a look at that now from my device. That's probably more stable in order to track that stuff. So let's go on Xcode here. We just go on the top here, change the target to the iPhone that's connected. We're going to click on build. This will then install the app on the iPhone, but if it fails, that means we forgot to go on the files on the side here, go on app, go on signing and compatibilities, select our Apple developer account team, wait till that verifies it, and then we're going to do that also for the OneSignal SDK. So it is signed over our Apple development team. Then we rebuild, and then we should get the success, and it should start installing the app on our iPhone. Here you go. We got that succeeded now. So it's starting the app actually. And here you go. Let's see how that is working. the first start always takes a little bit, right? When you use Xcode, but now it's going to boot everything up. Beautiful. Yes, allow. It asks me to get precise location access. I'm going to say allow while using app. And now, as you can see, we're getting the confetti all the time. So it does, it does track the location right now as I'm moving the phone. Now, more importantly is it sending it to the server? As you can see, it is not sending it to the server for some odd reason. Maybe something is wrong with the API call. So we can take a look at that. Let's just close this. Let's just delete the app real quick, and then we'll debug that together. So in here, I have a post request. I have a parameter here of time, and I have a header, and that should work. So let's look at that Xano request. Maybe I made something wrong. We'll look at that. Let's clone the Xano tab here. Let's take a look at that. Let's go to the API. Let's go to the API that we have inside of here. Let's go to requests. And there are a bunch of bad requests. Very interesting. So I have an input here. That's JSON, right? And then I have an output saying, yeah, it requires an integer or something. So we'll simply save that. So what we're going to do is, because I don't want to change that to JSON real quick, I just want to get data in here. We're just going to go to time here, and we're going to add a filter of JSON encode, which is going to turn that into JSON text so we can put it inside of here. But you see, we got all those logs on our backend here, and that is showing that we're sending data with the location change, right? And then you can define on the front end how, how granular you want that. But I assume if you do like a DoorDash delivery app, you want to see every step they're going, right? You want to see they're at aisle 5 at Target or something like that. But now if I probably just need to reload here. Here you go. Oh yeah, I did deinstall the app. So I probably want to quit the build real quick, start the build again. It will succeed. It'll install it on my phone, right? I have to allow all the location information inside of here. And now as you can see, I'm getting the confetti again, meaning I'm tracking the location. I want to close the application. That's important. Turn the phone off, and now I should be still running that workflow that I built inside of Toddle or WeWeb or whatever front-end tool I'm using to build my native mobile Despia application. So let's look at our database, because it's going to it should be spammed. I may be doing actually a bad job here. It's probably with an input filter that's causing that trouble. So how about we change it a little bit? That's back-end issues, not front-end issues. I found that if you start something completely wrong, it's hard to fix something that started off completely wrong. But let's just receive JSON here. That should fix it. Let's publish this again, and we'll look at the request history, and we'll see if there are any successes coming. By the way, phone is still off, should be logging the information. Here we go. Let's see. Let's reload that. Let's see. Here you go. Look at that. Now I need to start moving my phone. You see how this is working? Look at that. And the phone is off. So like, here you go. And if I open that again and close that. Shit, I just missed the modal. So if I open the app, close it again, you will see that the Despia native app will say if you want to allow background tracking with this application. I'm going to say change to always allow, because I only said during the app. So now I got that information inside of here. I got the app working. If I close the app now, you're going to see that we are still logging new information. So we have the app closed. App is closed. You can see that here. I'm not lying to you. I'm moving my phone, app closed. I can also turn off the whole phone. I'm moving my phone still. It's going to track the location. Just like that. And now we see the last one is 9C6D. Going to reload. And now the last one is, here you go. That was right this minute here, 2F8D. Let's keep moving that thing here. We go. We'll wait a little bit. We'll keep moving. And now I just, I could open a different app. I could, kind of like open, probably not password manager. That's a bad idea. I could open, I could open ChatGPT, right? Move my phone with being in a different app, ChatGPT, right? And I would reload my database. The last one is 2F82. I would reload. And I would see the last one here is now D722, right? D722. I'm in ChatGPT. I'm moving my phone while doing other stuff. The app that's tracking me is closed. I'm asking ChatGPT all the important things about life, but I keep moving my phone. I keep walking around the world. And the last one is D722. I will reload my database. And now the last one here is 117DD. Now I'm done with ChatGPT. I'm going to close my phone and I start walking around the street, right? I'm going to go to Target, and now I'm going to go to Walmart and Kohl's, right? I'm going to keep moving my phone, go to downtown. Here you go. Like I'm moving my phone, maybe look at the time real quick, turn it off again. But phone is off, and I'm going to reload my database here. And I forgot to keep track of the last one. So let's keep track of the new last one. That's 117. 117, I keep moving my phone. It goes off and on and off and on and off and on, but I keep moving my phone here. It's hard to demonstrate while you're sitting in your office how geolocation works. I'm doing my best here, but we have 117 here. As you can see, I scroll all the way down. Oh, and that's not tracking it. That is interesting. Maybe I need to do multiple bigger movements. Let's see. Ah, damn it. Almost broke my phone. Here you go. See how that is running. Phone is off. Here you go. There you go. Let's reload the database. Huh. Interesting. I'm curious if we hit a rate limit in Xano. We see a request inside of here. If I reload, it's working great. But it just did stop here. Let's see what's going on with Xano. I may have been sending too much data. Or, no, they don't have pagination. I got 277 records. Oh! What? So I have, look at that, 277. Now I have 236. Phone is off, right? And I reload. And now it's 299. So I'm still logging the data. But why is 117 still the second last? So it doesn't add it. It adds it on top, or it has some sort of pagination. I didn't know Xano does it like that. I think it's chronological. I always thought it would be that. But as you can see, if I reload here, now we're at 321, right? So those are updating. I just didn't saw that they were updating. That's fun. Here you go. But phone is off. I keep moving my phone while it's off. And we need to probably keep a track at that number down here. So if I reload here, you see 342. And I keep moving my phone while it's off. Right? And we reload. And we are at 352. And I keep moving my phone while it's off. I'm walking around downtown, right? All that kind of stuff. I will reload. And I'm at 364 records that logged my whole location information, right? And then you can take the coordinates. I'm not going to show them right now here. But here you go. So that's how you get that information right? And it just adds, now we're at 377, right? And even while the app is open, while I'm in different apps, right, while I'm just looking at the home screen, or while the screen is off, I will reload, and you see Despia executes the workflow that I built in Toddle, the workflow that I'm building in WeWeb, and on every location change, even when the app is closed. That's the power of Despia. I don't know any other hybrid framework that works similar to Despia that has that capabilities. Is another tool that has also tracking, but it sends you a webhook to your server to handle that. So they do that with the native part. They have a bridge for that, which makes working with it quite complicated, because if you have your mobile application and the application itself sends you an API call and not the logic you build your hybrid app in, you have to figure out how to identify the user and all that kind of stuff. And you can't have any logic client side on top of when to send that data or not. So you would have to work with that on your backend that can overload your backend at some cases, right? Because as you can see, if I reload again, we're working with a bunch of data here, right? You probably want to store that in one row and change their current position for tracking. You don't want to add a new row for every change, right? Probably not. But this is just an illustration example for this video. But that's the power of Despia. That's a new feature we've been actively working on to make sure that you have access to this great feature. The phone is off, right? And I reload, and I have added much more new records here. So you can see, phone is off. I'm moving my phone. I will reload, and we just added 10 more records. Here you go. From also a little bit before, when I start taking the phone, right, and putting it back, they probably count that also. Here you go. That's a move too. So you get that live location information while the app is off with Despia. So that I'm excited about the new update. We'll get automated publishing hopefully back up very soon. We're working day and night on that. But if you have any questions about Despia, if you need any help with anything, please feel free to reach out. Go to Despia.com to learn more about all that exciting stuff. Thank you so much for your interest in Despia, for watching this video. And yeah, thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.